Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Tonight, a new incentive in New York to get vaccinated. If you get a COVID-19 vaccine next week, you'll get a lottery ticket with the chance to win millions. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst has the details.
Good evening, Ann. Governor Cuomo announced the Vax and Scratch program with the main goal to get more people vaccinated for COVID-19. The main prize, $5 million.
Vax and Scratch. How do you like that name? Vax and Scratch.
In the latest effort to bump up vaccination rates, Governor Cuomo is turning to the New York lottery. Much like how Ohio announced its Vax a Million lottery, this program helps to reach people who are on the fence about getting vaccinated.
If you were undecided about getting a vaccine or dubious about getting a vaccine, now you have an added bonus.
The rules for the lottery are simple. Simply go to any one of the 10 designated state vaccination sites and get your vaccine between May 24th and May 28th. You'll then be given a free lottery card with prizes ranging from $20 up to $5 million.
I think this is a great incentive for sure.
I hope that it works to get more people vaccinated.
Two residents I spoke with believe the Vax and Scratch lottery will work and should even be extended to those who are already vaccinated.
Kind of stinks for us who've already gotten vaccinated, but that's okay. So I hope it works, and I hope people get out there and get vaccinated.
Leif Allen is optimistic that incentive programs like this can help inch New York closer to full herd immunity.
If there's a lot of people who are like on the fence, I think that'll definitely push them, and I think that'll be really big for at least getting a step towards normalcy.
The program will be re-examined after next week's drawing. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
New information about Pfizer and Moderna's COVID-19 vaccines, and we're learning more about variants and boosters. Plus, the debate over kids in schools continues, but now masks are in the mix. Britt Conway has the latest on COVID-19 information.
We're winning the war on the virus.
COVID-19 cases are the lowest they've been in nearly a year, down in all 50 states. Hospitalizations are down. Deaths are down. Health experts say it's proof vaccines work. And now Pfizer's vaccine just became easier to distribute. After the FDA announced the thawed, undiluted vaccine can be stored for a month at normal refrigeration temperatures instead of just 5 days. And there's new data that shows both Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines have cut down on infections in nursing homes. There are also lab experiments suggesting both vaccines appear to protect against the variants first seen in India. Both companies have been working on vaccine boosters against a variety of variants. But now, Dr. Anthony Fauci says they might not be needed against specific variants.
It is likely that you could just keep boosting against the wild type.
And he says we may need boosters in a year or so as the level of protection starts to decline. And that assumes full vaccination, though, which is only approved down to age 12, though trials are underway on kids younger than that. So the American Academy of Pediatrics says unvaccinated kids over the age of 2 still need to wear masks in public places. But the CDC has yet to release specific updated guidelines for schools. So the question, to mask or not to mask, depends on where you live. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
People in New York have taken a big step closer to post-COVID normality. The mask requirement is largely removed in most businesses, as is the need for social distancing among those who are fully vaccinated. Claire Sebastian speaks with business owners and people on the streets of New York to see how the new normal is working.
Well, a year ago, it would have been hard to imagine that this day could ever come. And for those of us who lived through last spring, when the city was one of the global epicenters of the virus, still feels like things are moving quite quickly. As of today, pretty much all capacity restrictions on restaurants like these, on retail stores, gyms, hair salons, offices are being lifted. Really good news for those businesses. The city's subway is now back up and running 24 hours a day. And perhaps the biggest news of all is that New York State is lifting its indoor and outdoor mask mandate for fully vaccinated people in accordance with CDC guidelines. Now that really puts the ball in the court of individual businesses. And I've walked up and down this stretch of Broadway, and we're seeing a variety of different policies. Some, like this cafe behind me, are still requiring masks. Others, like another down the block, say they're no longer needed. And we've spoken to New Yorkers and found a variety of opinions.
I don't believe that I love it right now because there's still people who haven't been vaccinated yet. and I feel like it's putting a lot of people still at risk.
I've been vaccinated for about a month. Wife's vaccinated. All of our friends are vaccinated. So we're just waiting for everyone just to take their masks off and sort of get back into it again.
I think it's time. If you've been vaccinated, if you haven't, hopefully people will do the right thing.
Do you worry that they won't?
I do think that there are folks that cussedly will not.
Well, this isn't about going back to normal. This is about a new normal. All the outdoor dining, for example, that we've been seeing as restaurants have built out onto the sidewalks to try to survive, well, a lot of that is likely to stay. And if you look across the road at New York's iconic Lincoln Center, well, it has reimagined itself as an outdoor performance space. Now, reopening won't be easy, but with 39% of New York City now fully vaccinated, it's starting to look like New York post-COVID is finally taking shape.
The husband of Rochester, New York Mayor Lovely Warren, arrested in connection with a drug ring. It followed a months-long wiretap investigation. Timothy Granison was arrested today after state police pulled over the vehicle he was driving. Police provided details of the arrest today.
Operating the vehicle was Timothy K. Granison, aged 42. He was in possession of a large quantity of cocaine. Due to information obtained during this ongoing narcotics investigation, members of the New York State Police executed a search warrant at his residence. An unregistered handgun was located inside this residence.
6 other people were also arrested as part of the investigation. Prosecutors say the drug ring was a, quote, significant mid-level drug operation. There's a new push to end the rash of shootings targeting children and teens in Chicago. Already this year, 100 children have been shot. Michelle Gallardo reports.
A 13-year-old boy riding his bike in McKinley Park. A 15-year-old girl walking her dog in Washington Park. These are but 2 of the most recent children to be killed or injured by gun violence in the city of Chicago. Respect Life reads this sign near 60th and King Drive.
Us adding more police to the city has not worked, and so we got to reimagine what safety is.
As of last week, 108 of the shooting victims in the city so far this year have been children. 16 of them have died. With summer around the corner, community activists worry what is to come. On the west side, Greater St. John Bible Church is among those that offer programming for those in the neighborhood. The pandemic, however, is limiting how many children they can take in.
We will continue our after school, which will transition into summer camp. And of course, that's only 25 children because we got to be able to social distance. The city must find places to invest money where there can be some viable options for these kids to hang out and be safe.
For 20th Ward Alderman Jeanette Taylor, the question is clear. The answer, however, remains elusive.
I'm an 80s baby. I played double dutch. I did jacks. I blew bubbles. I could sit on my porch in peace. And that's not what we have now. We have a city in chaos. And so how does government work with community to work together, to put plans together to help keep everybody protected?
A ceasefire in the Middle East could come as early as Friday, as Egyptian officials are said to be making headway in negotiations. Meanwhile, the violence has yet to stop between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas. Madeline Rivera is in Washington with the latest efforts by the Biden administration to bring peace.
Israel unleashing another blast of airstrikes Thursday, destroying more homes in Gaza and killing at least 1 Palestinian. The latest strikes coming despite President Biden ramping up pressure on Israel, saying Wednesday he expected, quote, significant de-escalation of the violence. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been pushing back, defending the strikes and saying they're needed to protect Israelis from Hamas violence.
To have Israel criticized for that is absurd. It does enormous damage to democracies that are fighting this kind of evil. It says you cannot protect yourself.
Frustrations mounting in the Middle East, but also in Washington. Lawmakers divided over what should be done. Democrats are demanding a tougher U.S. stance for a ceasefire. Meantime, Republicans are urging doubling down on support for Israel. Progressive Senator Bernie Sanders Thursday introduced a resolution to block the U.S. sale of $735 million in weapons to Israel, saying, "I believe that the United States must help lead the way to a peaceful and prosperous future for both Israelis and Palestinians. We need to take a hard look at whether the sale of these weapons is actually helping do that or whether it is simply fueling conflict."
You want to strengthen Hamas, support this war.
The people of Israel have a right and an expectation that they can protect themselves.
So far, there has been no joint statement from the UN Security Council about the situation. The UN General Assembly is meeting Thursday to discuss what, if anything, should be done.
Traffic signal boxes around Elmira may soon be decorated with vibrant colors. It's all part of Elmira's Adopt a Traffic Signal Box program. This public arts project will pair local artists with signal boxes throughout the area with the goal of uplifting the community with their art displays. Applications to adopt a traffic signal box can be emailed to Elmira's Public Arts Commission. Still ahead tonight, it is the third leading cause of cancer death, and in recent years, colorectal cancer is affecting younger Americans.
There's been an increasing rate of colon cancer in people under the age of 50.
What age doctors are now recommending screenings for people and why it's significant.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. It has been quite a warm day. It's going to get hotter by tomorrow. But for tonight, we are going to see those temperatures cool down into the upper 50s by early tomorrow morning, but then we quickly warm up to around 60 degrees by 6 o'clock. High pressure will continue to be anchored over the Atlantic, sending south winds right over the Twin Tiers, and so we are going to be near records tomorrow with temperature readings running about 10 to 20 degrees above normal. So our average high is around 71 degrees, and we're going to see temperatures tomorrow well above that. Our average low is around 45, and we're going to start off about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than that. 75 degrees by 9 o'clock, so we'll already be above normal by 9 o'clock, and then we surge into the mid to upper 90s in the mid-afternoon hours. Clouds will start to increase by the latter part of the afternoon. There's a slim chance for an isolated thunderstorm, and then more chances of rain over the weekend as a cold front starts to push right over the northern portions of the country. So this cold front is not only going to bring some rain, but it will bring a little bit cooler air by early next week, or at least closer to normal. Our future radar is showing relatively quiet weather for tonight, increasing cloud cover during the day tomorrow. And there could be an isolated thunderstorm or a shower from some of these clouds on Friday. And then on Saturday, we start off dry. A few showers try to move in the afternoon, and then we have more chances of rain, especially as we head into your Sunday once that cold front gets a little bit closer. So we are expecting increasing rain chances over the weekend, and then cooler conditions, or at least closer to normal conditions, by early next week. So we're keeping our eyes on a low pressure system in the Atlantic. It's almost hurricane season. It starts June 1st. And the Hurricane Center is showing that this low will have a high potential of developing over the weekend. Our first name on the list will be Anna, so we're just going to have to wait and see if this low gets named. Temperatures tonight will be dropping down to around 57 degrees in Elmira, 60 degrees in Corning. Partly cloudy skies tonight. Tomorrow, look for highs around 89 degrees for both Elmira and Corning, and 86 degrees in Perkinsville. We're going to cool it down just a tad over the weekend with a little bit more cloud cover. A few thunderstorms will be possible on Saturday as well as Sunday afternoon. Overnight lows will only drop down to around 60. Then closer to normal temperatures by Monday, about 10 degrees cooler than Sunday with a high around 72 degrees. It's going to feel very crisp outside, and then another warm up by the middle of the week with highs around 80 degrees on Wednesday with chances of thunderstorms.
It's the third leading cause of cancer death, and in recent years, colorectal cancer has affected younger Americans. That's why the recommended screening age has now been lowered. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on what that means for patients.
It's a troubling trend.
There's been an increasing rate of colon cancer in people under the age of 50.
10.5% of new colorectal cancer cases are in people younger than 50, and cases are climbing among adults between the ages of 40 and 49.
We don't know exactly why that is, but we've been tracking that for, at least over the last 5 years.
This week, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force lowered the recommended age to start screening for colon and rectal cancers from 50 to 45. Colonoscopies are recommended every 5 years, with stool testing every 1 to 3 years.
And the reason that's important is that's something that insurances, including Medicare and Medicaid, have to adjust to.
That means screenings for an asymptomatic person of average risk in that age group with no prior history of colorectal cancer, history of colon or rectal polyps, and no family history of genetic disorders will now be covered by most private insurance plans with no copay. Dr. Peter Stanich with the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center says it'll save lives.
Both by preventing colon cancer or finding it early enough where the treatment could be as easy as a single surgery.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A Wisconsin bride and groom were celebrating their big day when they got a surprise visit at their wedding reception. It was a transit worker who gave them a gift they won't soon forget. Michelle Fiore has that story.
If you hopped on one of Kenosha's brightly colored streetcars in the last 2 years, chances are you've met Bob Siss.
People come from all over the world to ride this thing.
Saturday night, as his shift was coming to a close, a white envelope on the tracks caught his attention.
And it was right here in the dirt, right before the cement started. And I got out and picked it up.
Only 2 names on the envelope seemed like a wedding gift.
Got the streetcar put away in the garage and then tried to hunt down the rightful owners.
Not an easy task for a guy who has difficulty walking.
And that day, for some reason, I was having a lot of trouble with my legs.
The hunt took Siss to 2 wedding venues before he decided to do a little hunting online. As luck had it, he found this site with the information needed.
And I noticed that they had the transit jacket on, and we joked because we immediately thought,
Are we getting a parking ticket?
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on?
Receiving the card and cash the giver feared was lost forever, Kaylee and Nick Moss offered Siss a bite to eat. He refused, figuring he'd done what he came for, and now it was time to go home.
And that is why, I had originally reached out to his supervisor just to let him know how great of an employee that they have.
As for Siss, he wonders what all the hoopla is about.
It is not a big deal at all. Most people are good people. Most people will do the right thing. Not everybody, but most people will.
Fidelity is joining a growing list of investment groups allowing teens to trade stocks for free. The move comes as more young people enter the stock market and Congress scrutinizes investment apps and their business models. Mandy Gaither tells us what parents should know before allowing their kids to trade.
Wall Street for teens. Fidelity announcing it's launching the Fidelity Youth Account, an investing and savings account for 13 to 17-year-olds.
Fidelity made this move and is realizing that there are other companies out there like Robinhood, which have made a major market dent in the teen market and the 20s market right now.
The account is free and will allow teens to buy and sell stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds. Parents must also have a Fidelity account and will have access to their kids' spending and investment activity. Investment experts say the move removes barriers to investing and allows families to start building generational wealth.
When you think of people of color in general, we are far behind. So I think it's really going to open up those conversations. And when parents see that children are excited about something, I think that it also makes them kind of interested in it.
The move comes at a time when millennial and younger Gen Z investors are entering the stock market in large numbers. Fidelity's rival, Robinhood, has come under scrutiny for allowing risky behavior among some individual investors.
They look at Reddit boards or they're following trends on social media and buying and selling stocks every day, and that's not really investing. It's really more gambling.
Experts say Fidelity should work to educate clients to prevent them from making reckless choices with their money.
We want to make sure that people are learning about investing, that they're investing responsibly, and that they're truly building wealth for themselves and for their family.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Microsoft is saying goodbye to its iconic web browser. The tech giant says it is ending support for Internet Explorer 11 next year. Internet Explorer debuted in 1995 and was once the most used web browser. But Microsoft said Internet Explorer is now slow, less secure, and is no longer compatible with many modern web tasks. Windows users will still have access to Microsoft Edge. That's the company's modern browser. Edge is based on Google's open source Chrome code and has gained traction in recent years. Support for Internet Explorer 11 will end on June 15, 2022. Tim Tebow back in the NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars have signed the former quarterback, where he will transition to tight end. The 33-year-old says he knows it'll be a challenge, but he's ready to embrace it. This is a reunion for Tebow and Coach Urban Meyer. Together, they led the University of Florida to 2 national championships. Tebow hasn't been on an NFL roster since 2015. He called it quits to pursue a broadcasting career, then spent some time playing professional baseball. A new mysterious video of a UFO in the sky has been confirmed as authentic by the military and one former president. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Sci-fi nerds and mystery junkies, get ready to have your minds blown. Newly leaked video taken aboard a U.S. Navy ship appears to show a UFO hovering above the water before splashing down.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
The Department of Defense has confirmed that the video and photos, as well as previously leaked videos from 2019 and 2015, are indeed legit and are part of an ongoing examination. Former President Obama didn't mince words recently on The Late Late Show with James Corden.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
In 2020, the Pentagon formed a task force to improve its understanding of the unexplained aerial phenomena and will soon declassify its findings to Congress. Mind not sufficiently boggled? Well, then check out what it looks like when a star is born. Scientists created this colorful and stunning simulation of the earliest stages of the creation of a star. Starforge, or star formations in gaseous environments, doesn't just create a trippy view of star-birthing gas clouds, it accounts for factors like radiation, wind, and impact from nearby supernovae. The program is so complex, it can take months to run and requires the use of some of the world's fastest supercomputers. Scientists are hoping to use the tool for better understanding of formations of galaxies and ultimately the universe. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Today is National Rescue Dog Day, a day to learn about all the ways that a canine companion can improve your life. According to the ASPCA, more than 3 million dogs go into U.S. shelters each year and are waiting for forever homes. These four-legged friends can offer a lot of benefits like protection, love, and comfort. Some can be trained to be service dogs or emotional support companions. Studies have shown that pet dogs can help relieve depression, anxiety, and even PTSD. If you want to ease into dog ownership, you can get involved with a local shelter. They can always use volunteers. If you have a rescue dog in your life, you can celebrate the day and connect with others using the hashtag National Rescue Dog Day. That's on social media. I sure love my rescue dog, as I'm sure many of you do as well. From our whole team, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great night.